G'day, I'm Andrew Marshall with the Northern Australia Climate Program at the University of Southern Queensland, and this is a short summary of the Bureau of Meteorology's climate outlook for Queensland for the weeks and months ahead, issued in the few days leading up to the 21st of December 2025. So we'll take a look at the rainfall outlooks here to begin with, starting with these outlook scenarios, and these are the rainfall totals that have a 75% chance of occurring for your region. So looking ahead to the 3 months from January to March, we're seeing a 75% chance of up to 50 millimetres or more for parts of southwestern Queensland and around 100 to 200 millimetres for central regions, increasing to around 400 millimetres for parts of the far east and more than 600 millimetres for the far north. And you can use this magnifying glass feature right here to drill deeper into the forecast, specifying your location of interest to break the forecast down into the chance of different rainfall amounts occurring. And this gives you an idea of how conditions are likely to be compared to the historical median. And your climate mate will be happy to go through this with you in more detail. Now, taking a quick look at the Bureau's northern rainfall total since the 1st of September, and the large areas in green indicate where more than 50 millimetres of rain has fallen, and this is about the amount of rainfall required to stimulate plant growth. And as you can see, most of Queensland has now exceeded 50 millimetres of rain for the season. Now we'll look at the temperatures, and the differences from average for maximum temperature here show cooler conditions across most of Queensland, except along much of the east coast and in pockets of the southwest, where daytime conditions are looking slightly warmer for the 2 weeks from Christmas Day to the 7th of January. And here the average is calculated over the 1981 to 2018 period for this time of year. And for minimum temperature, we're expecting warmer than average conditions across the state over the next 2 weeks. And now looking at the chance of extremes map for the 3 months from January to March, we're seeing an elevated chance of unusually warm days in parts of the southwest, central west, east and far north as seen here, and an elevated chance of unusually warm nights across Queensland right here. And by unusually warm, we mean the highest 20% of historical temperature records for this time of year based on the 1981 to 2018 period. Now, remember that these long-range forecasts for rainfall and temperature provide the best guidance for local climate, so that is our focus as always, and these forecasts consider all ocean and atmosphere conditions that affect seasonal weather and climate. But if you're interested, like me, in some of the climate indicators that can influence the forecasts, we'll have a quick look at these now. And La Nina is underway in the tropical Pacific. The Bureau's model currently predicts La Nina will remain until early 2026 before returning to neutral, and this timing aligns with most international models assessed. The negative Indian Ocean Dipole event, or the IOD, has been weakening since late October, and it's near its end, and the Bureau's model predicts a return to neutral IOD during December, which is consistent with most international models. The Madden-Julian Oscillation, or the MJO, has been weak in recent days, but it's forecast to strengthen over the Maritime Continent region, including Northern Australia, in the last week of December. This is coinciding with forecasts of above median rainfall across the north and may indicate the arrival of monsoon conditions before the end of the year, something to keep a close eye on in the coming days. And the Southern Annular Mode, or the SAM, has been strong in its negative phase recently. Following a stratospheric warming event over Antarctica in spring, SAM has returned to neutral in the last week, and it's forecast to remain neutral through to at least mid-January. And the sea surface temperature outlook is also likely to be influencing the forecast for Australia. This has shown warmer than average waters around much of Australia, and it's likely to continue in January through to March, with warming of around 1 degree or more predicted in the Tasman Sea. And now turning to the pasture growth outlook from long paddock for the 3 months from December to February, and we're expecting to see pasture growth across Northern Australia, as shown here, with some large areas of high growth predicted in the coming months. And finally, looking at the Cattle Comfort Index prototype forecast at nacpi.org.au, index values between 30 and 35 degrees represent moderate stress to cattle, values between 35 and 40 degrees represent severe stress, and values above 40 degrees are considered extreme, and we're expecting varying heat stress conditions over Northern Australia, with some severe and extreme conditions to be aware of in the days ahead. So as always, for more information and updates, visit the Bureau's climate pages at bom.gov.au/climate. If you have any questions about recent conditions or the use of weather and climate forecasts, please reach out to your local climate mate. You can read more about the Northern Australia Climate Program at nacpi.org.au. Have a safe and happy holiday season, and I'll see you again in the new year.